Everyone says saving your first $10,000 changes your life. That's true, but not the way anyone tells you. Right now, this is the part you know. The balance you check before you buy anything at all. The math you run in your head in the cereal aisle. The half second at the card reader before it says yes. The subscription you forgot was still quietly taking its cut. The 3 a.m. arithmetic of just getting by. Nobody films these months. They're the ones that change everything. So let's start on the night they end. $10,012.47. It happens on a Tuesday at 11:42 at night. You weren't celebrating, you were checking, the same way you've checked every night for 18 months. You refresh the app, and for the first time in your life, the number has 5 digits. You look up, the kitchen looks the same. The dishes are still in the sink. Across the street, somebody's party is still going. Nobody calls, nothing arrives. The phone weighs exactly what it weighed yesterday. You check again, still there. You put the phone face down on the table, then you pick it up and check one more time. Nobody saw the 18 months. They didn't see you cook on the nights everyone else ordered out. They didn't see you keep the cracked phone another year, or skip the trip, or learn the bus schedule by heart the month the car was in the shop. There was no montage, there was no music. There was a spreadsheet and 100 small rooms where everyone else said yes and you said no. Here's what nobody tells you about the first 10,000. It's the only money you will ever save alone. No interest worth mentioning, no momentum, no machine working in the background. At a few hundred a month, the bank's interest rounds to a coffee a year. Every dollar of the first 10,000 got carried up the hill on your back. Carried, not grown. That's why it's the hardest money of your life, and that's why the night it happens feels so strange. You were promised a finish line, what you got was a Tuesday. At 3 in the morning, you wake up and check the number again. It's still there. And you notice something else. You used to wake up like this to check for a minus sign. The dread is gone, and you can't remember the night it left. $10,000 doesn't feel like wealth, it feels like quiet. Call it the invisible 10, money nobody can see, including, at first, you. You don't know it yet, but the quiet is the whole point. Week 1, $10,315. Your paycheck lands on Friday, and for the first time in 18 months, the deposit has nowhere urgent to be. No hole to fill, no fee to outrun, it just stays. You check the app every morning anyway, not because anything will change. Because checking is what kept you alive at $400, and the habit doesn't know you've crossed a line. At the grocery store, you catch yourself doing the math, running the total in your head, rounding up the way you did when going over meant putting something back. You're 10,000 deep and still counting like you're broke. Nobody warns you about that part. The money arrives before the feeling does. One thing does notice. The app fires a notification, a little confetti animation. Congrats on your milestone. Written by someone who will never know your name. The only applause you get is automated. A coworker asks you to lunch on Thursday. You go. You order what you always order. The discipline doesn't switch off just because the emergency did. That night, you type the text to your best friend. Hit 10K today. Your thumb hovers over send. You delete it. Because $10,000 is a strange secret, big enough to change how you sleep, too small to say out loud. So you say nothing, and without meaning to, you learn the first rule of the people who keep going. The number is nobody's business but yours. At $10,000, the money doesn't change your life, it changes your settings. Week 2. The car has been making the sound for a year. You name the sound instead of fixing it. On a Thursday morning, 12 days after the night in the kitchen, the car stops negotiating. The shop calls at 2 p.m. with the number $1,228.52, parts and labor. Here's how that number used to go. It goes on a card at 24%. The card spreads it across 8 months and charges you $130 for the privilege. You borrow $200 from your mom and pay her back in apologies. You drive to work with your chest tight for 6 weeks. That was the old physics. This time you read the estimate twice. You say, okay. You pay it, you wince, and you pick the car up the same day. Your heart rate is the whole story. It never moved. That night you check the app, $9,086, 4 digits again. And here's the part nobody prepares you for. It doesn't hurt the way it should. The number went down, and your life didn't move an inch. No card, no favor, no 6 weeks of tight-chested driving. The emergency didn't get smaller, you got bigger. You sleep fine, the car runs. And on Friday, the number starts climbing again because the system you built doesn't stop to mourn. At $10,000, a breakdown isn't a crisis, it's an invoice. Month 3, $10,711. Back over the line. The first climb to 10,000 took 18 months of decisions. This one took 0. The transfers were already automatic. The habits did the work while you went about your life. And that's the first time money has ever moved in your direction without being carried. Rent leaves on the 1st. You used to watch it go. Now you hear about it later like news from a country you've left. Your boss has a bad day on a Wednesday, the kind where the whole floor goes quiet. You listen differently now, calmer, because somewhere in the back of your head, a quiet voice is doing the math. $10,000 at $2,500 a month is 4 months of your life, already paid for. You're not trapped in this room, you're choosing to be in it. The room can't tell the difference, you can. In a meeting that month, you asked the question you wouldn't have asked at $400. Nothing dramatic, just a question, asked by a person who can afford the answer. You sleep through the night now, all of it. You couldn't point to the night that started because there was no night. The fear didn't break, it dissolved. There's a name for this in research papers, you'll never use it. You just call it Wednesday. At $10,000, courage isn't a personality trait, it's a balance. Month 6, $12,661. And now comes the dangerous part. It isn't a crash, it's a voice. The voice says, you've earned this. An entire economy is built around people who just got a little ahead. It found you within 90 days. The offers start arriving. A credit card with your name printed in metallic ink, pre-approved from the same bank that wanted collateral for a secured card back when you actually needed one. A financing offer on a car you weren't shopping for. The system watched your balance cross a line. The system responds to lines. At the store on a Saturday, you pick up the thing, $1,400. You've wanted it for 2 years, and for the first time, you could buy it without blinking. The voice knows that's new. You deserve a reward, it says. What was it all for, if not this? You hold it. You do the old math one more time, out of respect. Then you put it back on the shelf and you walk out with a win nobody saw. Because here's the test that decides everything after 10,000. Can you hit a milestone and stay quiet? Not post it, not wear it, not spend it into a story other people can see. Just let the number sit there, unwitnessed, and keep going. The people who build real wealth treat applause as a cost. Every person who knows is a reason to perform, and performing is expensive. At $12,000, the threat isn't losing the money, it's being seen with it. 1 year from the night in the kitchen, $17,634. The first 10,000 took 18 months. The second is on pace for 15. Same job, same rent, same you. The difference is the machine. The habits run without supervision. The account earns a little on its own now. Small, but it's the first money you didn't have to carry. And part of it is the raise, the one you asked for in month 8, in the voice of a person who could afford a no. The hill is the same hill, you're just not climbing it alone anymore. And this is the part of the curve nobody shows you, because at this height, it's invisible. Money left alone in a boring index fund doubles roughly every 10 years. So the number on your screen tonight, never touched again, becomes about 35,000, then 70, then 140,000 by the time your hair goes gray. 15 times the night kitchen number for doing nothing but refusing to interrupt it. The cracked foam got replaced in the fall. You paid cash. It wasn't a moment. Something broke last month. You genuinely cannot remember what it cost. That's the level, not rich. There are levels above this one, and the people standing on them once stared at a 5-digit number in a dark kitchen too. You check the app once a week now, out of administration, not anxiety. It has quietly become the most boring app on your phone. It took you 2.5 years to make it boring. That was the project the whole time. The first 10,000 was never a pile of money. The invisible 10 was never about being seen. It was proof the machine was running. And the machine is you. Somewhere right now, it's 11:42 on a Tuesday, and someone is staring at $9,988. $12 short. They refresh the app like the number might move if they blink. It doesn't. They think crossing it will change everything. They're half right. Nothing outside will move. No call, no applause. The dishes will still be in the sink, and the party will still be going across the street. But 2 weeks later, their car will die, and their heart rate won't move either. In 3 months, they'll ask the question in the meeting. In 6, they'll put the $1,400 box back on the shelf and walk out with a win nobody sees. The world was never going to notice your first 10,000. That was never the deal. The number doesn't change your life. The number reveals who'd been building one all along. This is Merlin money. Count it quietly.